Welcome to Rock Club's record album review of Prince and the Revolutions Around the World in a Day. My name is Kevin Z, and I am a lifelong musician and music fan. I'd like to think that I've gained some musical wisdom over my 50 years of listening to, performing, and studying music from among my many favorite artists. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe to my Rock Club channel, as I intend to review another monumental album each week. I grew up with classic rock bands like Led Zeppelin, Boston, and Kiss, and I watched as new wave bands like Duran Duran hit big on MTV and television shows like Friday Night Videos. I witnessed the evolution of 80s alternative rock and hair metal and the rise of grunge. I'll give you my perspective on epic rock albums spanning across these years. I hope I can pass some of this knowledge along to my daughters, Sky and Ava, whose playlists include tunes from my album collection and my first generation iPod here. Another inspiration has been folks from work who heard my playlists, many of them for the first time, and commented how today's generation can benefit from my knowledge of these great artists and bands. So I'm reviewing artists' albums in their formatted order as they were originally intended to be listened to. Keep in mind, these are my opinions, so feel free to comment, agree, or disagree. So let's begin. Just like Prince, I was born and grew up near Minneapolis, Minnesota. Following the extraordinary success of Purple Rain, the album and the movie of the same name, Prince gained incredible wealth, and he could have lived anywhere in the world after his extensive traveling and touring. Prince had been quoted as saying he loved Minnesota and lived there because it was, quote, just cold enough to keep the crazies out, unquote. He chose to build a huge complex in a quiet western suburb of Minneapolis called Chanhassen. He named this complex Paisley Park, and it was a very special place where he would play, throw parties, perform, record, live, and also the place where sadly he died. I will tell you as God's honest truth that I too was living in Chanhassen back on April 21st, 2016, and on that spring day when Prince Rogers Nelson passed away, purple violets bloomed in the grass and a huge rainbow could be seen over Paisley Park. Released April 22nd, 1985, Prince and the Revolution Around the World in a Day was Prince's 7th studio album and a much anticipated follow-up to his epic Purple Rain masterpiece. What made this album so special to me was the stories he told and the way he musically painted a picture with each of these songs. Prince was brilliant, and he had the artist who painted the album cover, his name was Doug Henders, incorporate themes from each of the songs on the album. Here's Prince in his cloud blue suit, which he was shown on the video for Raspberry Beret. He wore that. Also, we've got these Paisley Mountains that if you look closely, it's the silhouette of a woman's body. And he even tied in the previous album, Purple Rain, When Doves Cry. He's got doves flying throughout, but The Ladder is one of the songs. Raspberry Beret, she's wearing the beret. Tambourine is the name of another song. We've got tambourines throughout. A very epic album cover. This is the fold out of the album folded out so you can see both sides. The genius he was, Prince wrote, sang, and performed most of the instruments for these songs, bringing in his band, The Revolution, which was Wendy Melvoin, Lisa Coleman, Bobby Z, Matt Fink, and Mark Brown. And he also brought in a whole other host of musicians. The list is too long to include here when he needed it. But the album can be best described as psychedelic pop. The album opens with the Mideastern flavored Around the World in a Day, with writing credit given to Prince's father, John Nelson. Here Prince asks us to open your heart, open your mind, as he takes us on this extraordinary journey. Track 2, side 1, Paisley Park, is a song written about his new crib the 65,000 square foot estate he named Paisley Park. It's a place where everyone is welcome, where nobody will be sad, where wishes do come true. Paisley Park is in your heart. I was fortunate to visit Paisley Park in the mid-90s. My band, Wanderlust, had won a music performance Best New Band contest, and the grand prize was a recording session at Paisley Park. We spent the weekend at Paisley Park recording in Studio C, which was basically Prince's indoor basketball court. We tracked my drums in this gymnasium, and the sound was absolutely huge. We were given a tour of some of the other areas, and during the tour, our guide, who was also the sound engineer, informed us that many rooms contained two-way glass mirrors so that it allowed Prince to observe things without having to enter the room. I can only describe the place as amazing. Today, Paisley Park has been turned into a museum in dedication of Prince. Track 3, side 1 is Condition of the Heart, a beautiful song about heartbreak, which has at times afflicted us all, including Prince. Prince opens on piano and keyboards, adding timpani and percussion, creating tension and building to a crescendo, then softly leading into the tale of three different characters who all have been hurt by love. The moral of the story being that it is better to have loved and lost than to have not loved at all. Ain't that the truth? Track 4, side 1, Raspberry Beret, was the first single released off the album. This tune would become a fan favorite and one of Prince's most popular songs. It's the story of a beautiful girl Prince meets while working part-time at the Five and Dime, when she walked in through the outdoor. A very popular video for the song appeared on MTV and everywhere that summer, featuring Prince and the Revolution performing the song complete with a string section and amazing animation. Last song on side 1, Tambourine, has Prince bringing the funk. Prince was a very funky drummer, and on this tune he lays down a sweet beat. His inspiration for this song was once again a woman. Oh my God, there I go, falling in love with a face in a magazine. Close my eyes, what's it like? What's it like inside your tambourine? It's a fun jam song. Side 2 opens with America, set to a dance track. It is a snapshot of how Prince saw life in the United States at the time. He addresses the topics of communism, freedom, love, joy, and peace. Keep in mind that in the mid-'80s, the US and the Soviet Union were still in the midst of the Cold War, and the fear of nuclear war was prevalent. Prince is on the side of freedom. Track 2, side 2, Pop Life, was the second single released off the album and became another big radio hit. Cool groove in which guest Sheila E. sits in on drums. Sheila has collaborated with Prince on many occasions and has commented something to the effect, Prince asked me to marry him once, and I said I love you, but it wouldn't work. You're a bigger diva than I am. That and Prince had multiple girlfriends all the time, vying for his affection. So can you blame him? Track 3, side 2, The Ladder, has Prince at his gospel preaching best. It is the second song on the album that he gives co-writing credit to his father, John Nelson. It's a song about a man searching for salvation. Prince is an absolute saint in my eyes. Later on in his career, Prince made a conscious effort to clean up his live concerts, making them more family-friendly. And my wife and I took my 5-year-old daughter, Sky, at the time to his Musicology Tour concert. It was incredible. It was her first concert, and I'll never forget the look on her face when they dropped the purple confetti during Purple Rain. So awesome. What a priceless memory. Next song was the last song actually on the album, Temptation. It's a very bluesy tune that has Prince revealing what a ladies' man he truly was. There's a joke somewhere I heard go something like, Prince was so good with the beautiful ladies. How good that he's the only guy that would not only smell nicer, but also be wearing a prettier blouse than your gal as he stole them away from you. There's a wild digital delay guitar solo by Prince on this track. Did I mention that he's the best lead guitar player ever? By the way, the outro has Prince wrestling with his sexual temptations, and after hearing what sounds like the voice of God, he promises to be good and understands that love is more important than sex. Wow, deep stuff. Prince and the Revolution Around the World in a Day has sold over 4 million copies worldwide. It is an adventurous album that reveals many different sides to the amazing artist who captivated the world and left us all way too soon. Thanks again for tuning in, and look for more Rokk Club record album reviews in the near future. Peace.